What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are working on a very special 1986 Chevy C-10 two-wheel drive short bed. That is one of the coolest trucks I've worked on in a while. I have worked on a few of these trucks in the past and they are absolutely one of my favorite, but they are also some of the most difficult just because the paint that they used back then and the moldings and tons of other stuff. So as you guys can see, this thing was sitting for about 10 years or so, is what I was told. Sat under a tree. It is a complete disaster. It is moldy, or it's got algae, whatever you want to call it. It is dirty. So this truck will make for some really good before and after shots. But just before we head into the video, make sure you take a second out and smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and make sure and turn your notification bell on. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So before throwing this in the wash bay, I'm going to take a broom and a garbage can and just throw some of the large debris, sticks, and pine needles. That way it doesn't go all over the truck and it'll save a little bit of time, and also will save me some cleanup in the wash bay. So since this engine has probably never been cleaned before, I'm going to take some gunk engine degreaser and soak down all the valve covers and pretty much every part of the engine. This will help a lot with some of the baked on grease and grime. I mean, you can use a regular degreaser, but it would take a little bit more time and a lot more product. So here I'm just going to let it soak, and then I'll move on to using some super clean degreaser 5:1 to soak down the rest of the body while that dwells on the engine. So I have got a few questions before on why I pre-soak the bodies with a degreaser, and it's simply because it helps with a lot of grease and grime and brake dust, especially with mold. If you just rinse this off with water, a lot of times, as you guys can see in this clip, is a good example. Once it gets wet, it's kind of hard to see the mold, especially on a dark color car. So you can tend to miss a lot of spots in all the nooks and crannies and tighter areas. So I like to use a degreaser, and it helps cut your work in literally half. So a few people asked, hey, why don't you rinse the body first, then put the degreaser? But that would simply defeat the whole purpose of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to use my degreaser, let the degreaser do the work for me, and then get it all sprayed off. So here I'm just going to take my pressure washer and rinse off any leftover baked down grease or grime along with the gunk engine degreaser. And then I'm going to take my chemical sprayer filled up with some super clean, non-diluted at full concentrate. And I'm just going to soak down the whole engine and let it dwell for a little bit and get it all pressure washed away. As you guys can probably tell, it's looking a whole lot better with just a wash, but don't be fooled by the paint being wet, because once this thing is dry, you guys will see a complete different truck. So moving on to another step of this detail, and that would be dry extracting. Here I'm using my Tornado Z240 vacuum, and if you guys are not familiar what dry extracting is, it's basically using some type of agitation and then re-vacuuming the carpet to get any sand, dirt, and deep embedded debris out of the carpet fibers. Get them lifted away with the vacuum before extracting, because a lot of times, say if we used to just soak this down and drill brush it and extract it, we'd make kind of a mud or a sludge in the carpet, and then it would actually lodge into the carpet fibers and actually cause staining later on, or it would just kind of make the carpet all kind of stiff and grimy. That's exactly what you don't want. So as you guys can see here, the Tornado is doing an amazing job. It's actually changing the carpet color already by removing 30-year-old dust out of this carpet. If you guys look closely in some of the clips, you can see a lot of sand and dirt just kind of coming up to the surface. So keep an eye on that. But if you guys are interested in trying one of these, I'm not sponsored by them, but it's an amazing tool. And I don't have any discount codes or anything like that. This is complete, transparent, and honest. If you guys want to try one, they're definitely worth 120 bucks. I've seen a few people say that they're definitely not worth it. But if you have the proper compressor with it, I use a 40-gallon compressor. It definitely does an amazing job. So if you want to check one out, there'll be a link in my description down below. So before extracting, we're going to move on to cleaning all the interior panels. And here I'm going to be using some all-purpose cleaner diluted 5-to-1 as well, with a variety of different brushes. And then I'm just going to agitate it and then get it all wiped away with a microfiber towel, then blown out with some compressed air. So moving on to clean the steering wheel, and this was definitely the most nasty and definitely the filthiest steering wheel I've ever cleaned in all of my life of detailing. I've literally spent probably over 30 minutes on the steering wheel alone, and as you guys can see before, there was no texture in the steering wheel. That's mostly from dead skin from your hands, grime, all kinds of germs, just completely nasty, not even knowing how long that sat on the wheel. As you guys will see in some later clips, I literally destroyed about 10 new microfiber towels, turning them completely black right after, as you guys can see here. So one of the grossest steering wheels I've ever cleaned, but it did end up turning out pretty nice. So moving on to extraction process, and here I'm going to be pre-treating with a chemical guys carpet solution along with my chemical sprayer, and I'm just going to get it all agitated with the drill brush and then get it all extracted. So now that the carpet's all nice and clean and dried overnight, I'm going to go ahead and take some fabric spray and restore some color back to the sun-faded old carpet. So one thing I almost forgot to do was remove some of this old beat up tint off these windows, and this tint is probably over 30 years old, so you can imagine the challenge of getting it off this glass was not very easy. So here I just actually peeled it up, and then I used a razor blade with some glass cleaner and got it all scraped away. So as for interior top coat, I'm going to be using some Sprayaway's high gloss interior detailer, and I chose this over 303 Aerospace just because it added a little bit nicer of a shine and color back to the interior without adding a ton of high gloss. Like as you can see right now, it looks really high gloss, but once it's wiped away, it leaves it with a nice satin finish. So here I'm just going to be removing all the body moldings and replacing them with brand new ones. So now that we got all the moldings pulled off, I'm going to be using my drill with an eraser wheel. Then I'm just going to rub off all that glue and then get it all wiped away with a microfiber towel and some solvent. Now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to be using some Mother's Instant Detailer as a clay lube, and then my reusable Grills Garage Speed Clay. And then I'm just going to be doing this all over the truck and then get all wiped away with a microfiber towel. So So moving on to the paint polishing process, and here I'm going to be using my Rupes DA Bigfoot polisher along with some D300 correction compound. So as you guys can probably tell, this paint is very far from perfect even after doing the two-step polishing process. It's just that there's so much stuff coming off this paint, like paint chips, little bits of debris, that it is getting into the pad and will re-scratch the surface. So it's pretty much, at this point, the truck needs a full paint job. The only reason this is getting done is to, make it look a little better and bring some shine back to this old paint. But this truck is actually undergoing a full restoration later on this year. But the owner wants to make it as nice as possible for the time being. So I think we managed to do that. This detail took about 5 days to get done. As you guys can probably tell, I got a few different outfits on, and I have a haircut in some of the clips and some I don't. So here I'm just going to break out my scan grip light to see if there's any swirls, and as you guys can see, there's tons of swirls under some direct lighting. So to take care of that, I'm going to be using some Sonex Perfect Finish along with a polishing pad and my Bigfoot polisher. So to get the body moldings installed, prior to installing these, I went ahead and wiped all the areas that the moldings are going to be installed with some isopropyl alcohol, that's at 90%, and a microfiber towel, and just went one way with it so I don't add any scratches. And then after installing the moldings, I will add a layer of spray wax to kind of clean up any leftover alcohol residue. So this next clip was supposed to be me doing a cool edit of swapping the old steel wheel for the matching mag wheel, but I forgot to record the after. So here are the before and after shots. Enjoy. We are just about to approach the end of the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking around for 1 hour to watch one of my videos. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure and drop a like on this video. And also, if you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button. We are on our way to 50,000 subscribers. We're only 9,000 away. And also get that notification bell turned on for any future videos, as we will be doing some more muscle cars, barn finds, and really dirty cars and trucks. So if you guys enjoy that kind of stuff, what's not to like? I'll see you guys in the next one.